time now for our press review with Deepti Laurent. Hi, Deepti.
Hi, Jeannie.
You're going to start with a focus on the heat wave that many of us across Europe are now suffering from.
That's right. Tomorrow will be even worse. That's what the Spanish paper ABC says on its front page. Whether they're talking about tomorrow as in tomorrow or the tomorrow of the future is unclear because it could apply to both. Much of Spain, as other parts of Europe, is set to melt under 35-plus temperatures. The paper also reporting on the first heat wave deaths that came out of France. If you're in France right now, there's probably one word that you cannot avoid. That's la canicule, the heat wave. It's on the front of Le Parisien today. The paper's looking importantly at what needs to change in cities. How can we make cities cooler? Transport, changing our modes of transport will be one of the big issues.
It's true. This heat wave is getting many papers thinking about the future.
That's right. I mean, Le Parisien says that in the midst of a heat wave, air conditioning is not the solution. It's just a band-aid to the solution. Urban planners actually need to completely rethink cities with more urban forests, less concrete areas around rivers, for instance, and again, alter our ways of transport, encouraging people to take public transport, reducing vehicles. One writer in The Guardian has penned an interesting article that says the way we report and speak of the climate and climate change is important because the climate story, she says, needs to balance talk of urgency with hopeful and creative ideas if we want to inspire positive change. Right now, we're stuck in this, quote, collective paralysis where we know what's going on, but we feel powerless to be able to do anything to stop it.
Now, many people are trying to get cool at their local pool, but people in the French city of Grenoble won't be able to do that today.
Yeah, the two pools in Grenoble have been embroiled in a secularism scandal. City Hall there has closed down two pools after last Sunday an initiative from a group called the Citizens Alliance. So women donning the burkini, the fully covered swimsuit, to the pools, flouting strict rules that require pool goers to wear traditional bathing costumes.
Now, there have been counter-protest moves at local pools as well.
This is how tensions have sort of become inflamed. Yesterday, a man wearing shorts tried to swim in the pool, which to a foreign audience might not seem shocking, but French pools are very strict about men having to wear Speedos and not shorts. When he was asked to change, scuffles broke out, so now pool staff are worried about security at these local pools. On top of that, a Grenoblois group online has now called for a naked protest at the pool this Sunday. This as the pro-burkini group plan a similar protest on Sunday as well. So Sunday could be a day of tensions at those pools. Meanwhile, Grenoble's mayor has come under pressure for not doing enough to diffuse tensions. And you think about this in the sort of a climate of a pre-campaign ahead of city elections next year. So this is could be a bit of a hot topic. One writer for Le Figaro accuses the pro-Burkini group of trying to use the strategy of victim provocation, accusing the consort of not defending women's freedom, but rather promoting an unequal vision of men and women.
Also in the papers today, UNESCO is beginning 11 days of deliberations in Azerbaijan. Now, that's to decide which destinations will be added to its list of World Heritage Sites.
That's right, Jeannie. There's over 1,000 sites currently on that list across 167 countries, including the Yellowstone National Park, the Taj Mahal, the Galapagos Islands, Petra in Jordan. This picture you see here is one of the candidates vying to be added to that list. That's the historic temple site of Bagan in Myanmar. But let's show you some of the other candidates vying to be added to that list. You have the stunning Icelandic National Park that's on the bottom right there, the Jaipur Pink Palaces in India, the island of Parati in Brazil, the Prosecco region of Italy, and the Mediterranean Alps shared between Italy, France, and Monaco, which is a hiker's dream in the summertime.
Another story now. There's a new author. Not a new author. There's a big author, I guess you could say, here in France again. That's former French President Nicolas Sarkozy, who's releasing his new book today. It's called Passions.
Yeah, that's right. In French, it's called Passions, and you might be forgiven for thinking it's a steamy romance novel, but it isn't. It's a personal book, his entourage says. It's about life. That's all they said. Now, the Huffington Post notes that while Nicolas Sarkozy may hold the record for being the only president to unsuccessfully seek re-election twice, he's also, on the upside, the president of political bestsellers, a rather flattering record. In 25 years, he's published dozens of books to great success, so much so that the editors of Passions have already printed 200,000 copies in anticipation of the release of this book.
All right, just to wrap up now, in the U.S., Democratic presidential contenders clashed over health care and migration policy in the first of what will be 2 televised debates, the first big debates of the 2020 presidential race.
That's right. But you know what? Spanish was also a really big part of that debate. Clearly, the Latino vote is shaping up to be a key thing for the Democrat candidates. In fact, 3 candidates broke into Spanish during their answers. Beto O'Rourke started switching between English and Spanish in a response about tax cuts. And the look on Elizabeth Warren and Cory Booker's face says it all. The fear, perhaps, that they too would have to speak Spanish. It actually became a meme on Twitter, Jeannie. One user also wondering if Beto O'Rourke was just speaking Spanish to avoid answering the question. Here you have Mr. O'Rourke, what do you think about the specific tax plan? Well, you see, I know Spanish. Yeah, but that tax plan? Hola, ¿cómo estás?
That's so funny. Thank you for that, Deepti Laurent, for that look at the papers today. You can get a closer look at that again if you like on our website, the address france24.com.